It's a hand-woven orb which has been placed on its own handmade loom. And the important thing for me about this piece was that it connected the item that has been woven with the actual board that it's been made on. Because for me, the sense of flow comes from the act of weaving and making in itself. With this piece particularly, it was a circular piece, so the weaving was round and round, and then the weaving was taken off the board and pulled into shape. And what actually happened then is that a space came into the middle of the weaving, so it transformed from being a weaving itself into an orb. And it's that space which is very important to the piece. In Japanese, they call it ma, which is the idea of the space that creates the thing. So for example, a cup is only a cup because there is a space within the clay, otherwise it's just a lump of clay. And it's the same with this piece. So I use weaving. It's a very ancient craft, obviously gone back for millennia, but I've brought it right up to date in our world, and using it as an artist and a means of expression. Weaving is a method of construction. So when you weave, you create something new, you create something completely from scratch. And I think that's really powerful for an artist.
If you could tell us a little bit about how lockdown has affected your creativity.
I think the biggest thing that has come out of the period of lockdown for me is that although I knew I was inspired by natural forms and using natural materials, and they were very important to my work, I have found that it has spoken to people so much more. I think our collective relationship with the natural world has just become incredibly intense, and it's so beautiful. I use only plant-based yarns, so things like linen and hemp and paper, because most of my work is inspired by or is somehow kind of linked to the natural world. I use quite simple woven techniques, so I predominantly use plain weave, and I also bring in elements of wrapping and knotting into the work. And it's very much a gentle response to the materials themselves. So it's about connecting that kind of head and hands, taking ourselves out of our thoughts and letting the materials sort of speak for themselves a little. This is not about creating a precise pattern, but yes, very much an organic feel to my work.